right? The good, well, whatever time of the day it is for you when you're seeing this video, I suppose. So I'm just doing a sort of a brief introduction video to a new series that I'll be starting on my Twitch, and also will be getting its own playlist on YouTube. And that is my Adept challenge runs for the game Dead by Daylight. So as of the time of this, I have 819 hours in the game, so I have a decent amount of experience with Dead by Daylight, but I'm not like super good or anything. I just do okay. But I thought one of the interesting challenges I've been sort of building up for the last few months is getting ready to do what is called the Adept runs. And this is where you attempt to unlock the achievements for successfully beating around with the Adept conditions. And I will be starting these on the 13th of September when the ranks reset. So I'm going to be doing Adept runs for every single character in the whole game. So starting with the survivors, so if you don't know what the Adept run is, basically with the survivors it's very, very easy. Very, very simple. All you have to do is enter a round with your free perks, your free unique perks. So for example with Cadet it would be Empathy, Botany Knowledge and Self-Care, and all you have to do is survive, whether that be an exit gate or the hatch. That is it. That's all I have to do. Just survive with my free unique perks on all 33 survivors. You are allowed to bring items and offerings. I did not know this previously. I thought literally you just had to bring your unique perks only. But you can bring items and offerings on both sides. So I'm going to be going through all 33 survivors from Dwight to Rebecca in order. I'll be starting off with Dwight, then I'll be going on to Meg, Claudette, Jake, etc. Going all the way through the list until I get to Rebecca Chambers. I'm going to be doing all of them. I will be using items and offerings on occasion. I may try and do some runs without items just to get a feel for each survivor. But basically, as a survivor adept, all I have to do is survive. That's it. There's no requirements for emblems or pips. It's very, very simple. So that's why I'm going to be doing the survivors first, because all I have to do is survive 33 times. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. However, for the side I like to play, the killer side, big oof, much more complicated. So similar to the survivor, you have to be able to get through a round using only your free unique perks. So in case of the Trapper, it would be Agitation, Brutal Strength, and Unnerving Presence. Again, being allowed to use add-ons and offerings as I see fit. However, the requirements to get Adept on killers is much more difficult. I can't just have a normal game where I just maybe kill a few survivors and let some escape. Oh, no, 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 no. To unlock the Adept on it for killer, I have to acquire a ranking called Merciless Killer at the end of the game. I.e., I have to double pip. I believe is the normal way of getting Merciless is where you double pip on emblems. And this is much, much harder to pull off by some order of magnitude. So, to do that, I suppose I have to explain what each of these sorts of the 4 emblem types are for the killer. So I'm just going to go through each of these now from the DBD wiki. So the first one is Gatekeeper. The Gatekeeper basically represents my ability to slow down generator repair progress for as long as possible, aiming to get an iridescent emblem, which is usually what I'll be looking for. And according to this OTS video, which highlights has been a very useful guide for me in working out how to do all these. Generally, the advice given for this emblem is trying not to lose several gens in the first few minutes, to try and end the match or close the hatch with some generators remaining, and if possible, dodge lobbies with lots of toolboxes and, groups that look like they're going to rush gens very quickly. I need to interrupt group repairs. So that's just to get the Gatekeeper one. You want to get as high as possible, aiming pretty much for Iridescent if I want the double pip. The second one is the Devout category, or Sacrifice category, and represents the ability to sacrifice and kill survivors. So, more survivors killed, the better. Any way possible, sacrifices, Moris, reverse trap kills, etc. So the advice for this one is to make sure I get at least 9 individual hooks for max result. I need to try not to kill survivors on their first hook. I need to not bleed people on the ground and don't do early Moris. And I need to give survivors plenty of chances to unhook safely. Now, because I don't usually camp or tunnel too hard, this shouldn't really be a problem. But obviously, if a survivor decides to kill themselves on the first hook, say they're playing against, I don't know. Hi, I'm playing as a nurse. And the survivor decides, time to kill myself on the hook immediately. Yeah, that could happen. That's something I need to be mindful of, I suppose. People killing themselves also disconnects. So that would be what I'd need to do for the Devout category. The third category is Malicious, or used to be known as Brutality. And this one represents the ability to apply pressure and prevent them from helping each other. And to do this, I need to injure, down, and hook survivors to build up points. I need to not let them escape my grasp when I pick them up. I need to interrupt their healing as much as possible. Apparently, according to Otz's guide, this happens naturally, but I need to be careful with medkits because obviously if they have medkits, they can heal faster. So basically, I need to be able to pick up survivors when I get them down and not get interrupted by a flashlight save. And I need to not let them heal too much. So, if there's any booed totems, I need to get rid of those or keep an eye on them and so forth. And the final category is the Chaser category. And this represents my ability to find and chase survivors, and it's suggested here to extend the match by doing as many chases and hits as possible. Insta-downs only count as one chase, so don't do them too often. That means using one-hit down powers like Bobber's Chainsaw or Myers' Tier 3 and other such things. And it also states that staying for long near hooked survivors applies a penalty, so avoid this. So again, since I don't usually camp hooks anyway, this shouldn't be an issue. So the idea is that I would try and get as many iridescents as possible or close to it. I just have to double pip, basically, is the suggested thing to do in this case. So yeah, that's what I'll be aiming to strive for with every single killer. And there are 29 killers to go through. So like with the survivors, I would be starting with the Trapper and going all the way in order, going Trapper first, then Wraith, then Hillbilly, then Nurse, and going all the way to the newest release of Wesker, who I still don't really rate that much. I find him hard to play. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot harder as killer, and it's why it's suggested that the best time to do the Adept challenges is during a rank reset. As you can see right now, I'm currently Iridescent 3 in the rankings, but on the 13th, the ranks will be reset back to Ash 4. And that's when I'm going to start doing the Adept runs for Survivors first, because again, Survivors should be way easier. It's just a case of survive by any means, and I'm done. I don't have to worry about the game going on for a while. I don't have to worry about game management or killing survivors too early or killing them at all. All I have to do is survive, which in solo queue is pretty darn stressful, but at least it's just a simple strategy. I don't have to manage the game too much beyond stay alive. Whereas as a killer, you know, it's a tricky balance, and obviously the lower rank I am, the easier it will be to get the double pip, to get the Merciless Killer status. That being said, on some killers this is going to be an absolute pain. Some killers I am better at than others. I am not particularly looking forward to doing the nurse, not because I'm super terrible at the nurse. I've gone a little better at the nurse, but I'm just definitely fearing that survivors will see me do too well and go, that's it, DC, I'm out. And which could be the same with some other killers, maybe Blight if he does well, maybe Legion, maybe Wesker in some cases. People are fed up of dealing with him. And other killers I'm going to struggle with because they're a bit harder to do well in. Hillbilly's going to be tough early on because I'm not very good with him either. Hag can be difficult sometimes, you know. It just depends on the kind of game that I get. I mean, I could get 29 good games in a row where I get the Merciless every time, and I could also have a long period of time where I don't. So that's going to be everything that I've tried to explain it as briefly as I can. Obviously, it's very simple for survivors. It's a lot more complicated for killers. So I'm planning on starting the Adept challenges on the 13th of September, as I said earlier, when the rank reset kicks in. I am currently planning to do the first Adept challenge stream on the same night, on the Tuesday night, although that could change depending on what happens. But it will be after the rank reset for September that I will begin doing them. And by the way, all of these will be done on stream. I will not be doing any off-stream attempts. I will probably play off-stream, but if I do, it will be not in Adept runs, just grinding the blood points for prestige unlocks that I'm doing anyway. So, yeah. You can look forward to seeing all the Adept runs on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/JohnSuitepee, and all of them will be uploaded to YouTube, and I will have a playlist specifically for these Adept runs. So, I look forward to seeing you in the trials soon, and hopefully the attempts will go well. But honestly, I'm expecting the killer stuff to be more stressful than the survivors. Time will tell. Until then, have a good day and stay safe.